Hey, I'm Tanya H. Franklin, and welcome to Tricks My Dog Taught Me, a podcast for lighthearted and occasional deep conversations with family and friends, revolving around my journey as a dog mom to my little guy, Zach the Toy Poodle, which prompted me to self-publish my first book, Shit My Dog Taught Me, where I share some of my insights through poetry and weekly life lessons. And, they say the hardest part of any journey is the first step, but often it's the nudge before the step that matters the most. So today I invited my kind, intelligent, and beautiful niece, Mackenzie Purnell, a college student navigating that major life transition from thinking about it to getting out there and doing it. So,
Mhm,
Kenzie, thank you so much for joining me to discuss week 14's poem, A Little Tug. So, what I want to do first before we get into our conversation is just
mhm.
recite the poem so you have some context with it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So here we go. May I offer you a little advice when a hug for comfort simply won't do? Don't choose to do nothing and risk the price. A little tug is the ultimate move. No need to be forceful, just enough. Let everyone know you're unyielding. Circumstances may begin to get rough, arduous task in which you are dealing make you pull in a certain direction. Feel the unbridled passion deep within. Doggedness must be in your possession, and decisiveness will not be your friend. Trust your intuition with where to go. When the moment comes to tug, you will know. So I was inspired by Zach because he has no problem tugging me in a direction that he wants to go when we're out walking. He was just doing that earlier today. He wants to keep walking because, oh, it's a nice day. We're going to keep walking. If he sees that we're heading towards our block to go home, he will give me a little tug in the other direction. And so it just made me think about us as humans and whether it's a literal assist or a metaphorical nudge. Sometimes the smallest tug is what makes the biggest difference. So,
Yes.
you're a college student now,
Mhm.
you're finishing your second semester, so which is amazing. So when you think about a nudge, I'm just wondering, do you picture a gentle suggestion from someone, or maybe it's a sudden wake-up call?
I feel like when I think of nudges, I think of it more as like a sudden, wake up call. Like, not really I feel like I don't really get a whole lot of pushes. I get more like one day I'll just be like, like, I really need to get on my stuff. Like, I really need to do I need to do better. So I feel like to me it's more like a wake up call. Like, if I really see my life, I think it's really like my environment. Usually when I start seeing, like, this dorm, for example, like, sometimes when I start seeing, like, "Oh, like, this is messy, this is messy, this is messy, my clothes aren't washed, this isn't done." It's like a wake-up call to me, like, I'm losing it, and I need to get back to the space where I'm, like, back to being clean and yeah, so
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well,
that's
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 good
how it is
that
for
you
me.
yes, 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 and I think sometimes we all have people in our lives
Mhm.
whose nudges might carry the most weight as well. Like, so for me,
Yes.
it's some family members and my
Yes.
friend Michelle. She's the one who encouraged me to self-publish the book. And then I have
Mhm.
some friends who motivated me to do my first Spartan race. And now I'm just absolutely hooked.
Mhm.
I remember like way back in the day, this was even before you were born, when I used to do raps and shows and things of that nature, and I would have
Mhm.
people nudging me. I was very shy, but people would nudge me like, "You got this, you're good." And I just
Mhm.
get on out there. So I'm wondering about you. Do you have
For
people in your
that
life who've, given you that nudge?
Mhm. I feel like for that, it would be my mom or,
Uh-huh.
like, maybe probably my friends. I feel like it's either my mom or my friends. Like, I feel like they can really, I don't know, when I feel like I care about somebody's opinion on something, like, it really means a lot to me. So sometimes, like, I won't ask them certain things because, like, I know their opinion is gonna mean a lot to me. Or, like, so sometimes I use it to my advantage. Like, if I know I don't want their opinion, I will not tell them. But if I really, like, want their opinion on something, like, I'll tell them. And usually they'll, like, tell me, like, "Oh, Kenzie, like, da this, da da da." So I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, like, okay, that makes sense." But yeah, so I kinda use it to my advantage on what I, like, need to
Now,
ask
is
them
it that you
about.
don't want to know or that you know what they're going to say and you don't wanna get the
Sometimes
nudge
yeah,
from them?
sometimes it's I know what they're going to say. Like, if I already know what this person, like my mom, for example, if I ask her something, I 9 times out of 10 already know what she's gonna say because I
Mhm.
know, like, how she is. So, because I've lived her my whole life, so I know how she is with certain things. So, sometimes with her, I'll be a little, she might be a little different with it. But so I'll go to my friends, but I feel like my friends would be like a little, I'll go to my mom. Like, it really all depends on the
Mhm,
situation.
mhm. That makes sense, that makes sense. I mean, I know for me, like, as a mom as well, I'm
Mhm,
sure that Quinn already gets a sense of what I might say if she comes to me and asks me about something. But definitely even, like, as a professor, I would say I definitely would love to think, and I hope that I'm giving out a fair share of nudges to students
mhm,
and giving them hope and that they've been impacted in a positive way. And I'd say the same applies to loved ones as well, like
yes.
Quinn and, Uncle Sean, or even you, for
Mhm,
example. And so to be able to be that little bit of encouragement or for support for someone, that means a lot to me. So I'm wondering, has the shoe ever been on the other foot where you've been the person that gave someone a nudge that maybe changed their direction in a positive way?
mhm. I feel like I'm that for a lot of people. I always try to, like, give people nudges, like, especially when I see, like, they're, like, down or, like, they, like, clearly need some type of guidance because not everybody has that. So I try to, like, if I know I've been through it, I definitely try to, like, say something to people. So, like, for my roommate, for example, like, when it comes to, like, men, she could be a little gullible, so I have given her some advice because I don't wanna see her go down a path that's, like, bad. I wanna see her do good in life. I wanna see her, strive in life. So, I sometimes help her with that. Or, like, even for my friends, for example, like, in their college life, like, sometimes they'll ask me stuff that's going on with them in college, and I'll give them the best of my advice that I know of. But, that's all I know. So, I try to,
Mhm.
like, help where I can. So, I'll nudge my friends if need be, basically.
And how does it make you feel if they come back to you and you're like, "Wow, thank you. I appreciated that." They may not use the word nudge, but they still
Yeah.
might say, that little bit of advice or that suggestion, it helped me."
I think that, like, it feels good to me. It feels like, okay, well, they really appreciated my advice and used it. And I feel like that feels good to anybody to hear, like, oh, somebody liked my advice, like they like what I told them. So it like feels good to me. I definitely love it. And I always like when people come to me for advice because I just like be knowing stuff. So I'd be like, oh.
So, something I would also say is it's amazing how a conversation or even an event, it can be a sign. I always look at signs from the universe as giving me a green light that I need to go after something. So, for me, most recently, it was starting this podcast after I self published my book. I said, I want to have something that just keeps the momentum going, give me an opportunity to interact with family and friends, and I was a little nervous at first, and then I got a nudge from a few people like, "Just do it. Just do it. Who cares what anyone thinks? Just do it." And so I'm wondering, have you ever had a conversation or maybe there's an event or something that transpired that gave you the green light, whether it was to pick your major at school, to do some activity or something?
Mm, Okay, I do have one. For my English class last semester, I mean, I have the same English teacher, but it was a different class last semester. It was creative writing class, and I remember she was doing these like poem things. She was like, "Oh, like," because she like would always tell me, she's like, "You're a really good writer. I would really like if you would write a poem." But I was like, I ain't doing that. Like, I ain't write no poem. I'm not gonna do that." And then friend that was in that class, she's like, "You should do it. Like, I've read some of your stuff. It's really, really good." And I was like, "Maybe I'll do it." So I did end up writing the poem, after I getting the nudge. I think I was just in my head about it, like, oh, somebody might read it and be like, so hard to write this poetry. I don't know. It's just sometimes, and this has been in a lot in my sociology class actually. Like where my sociology teacher, she was telling us about like how sometimes we perceive different things. Like we think that somebody would think like this, and we're like, why are we? And she was like, well, why do you think like that? And sometimes they're not even like. Sometimes it's just us being in our head, and really nobody's thinking like that. We just have this like self doubt about ourselves. So I definitely like this. Bit has happened to me a lot of times.
And I have good news and bad news for you, and that is that even at my age, I still am in my head. Not everybody's that way, but
Yeah.
I still am in my head. What are they going to think about this? Should I do this? I don't know about this. So sometimes I will say that it's died down some, and I might
Mhm.
not stay there as long as I once did, but it certainly still comes up. But I feel like the power of the nudge is what helps to get me through. And then
Yeah.
just that rewarding feeling, wow, I did it. And what I thought was going to happen didn't.
Didn't,
If
yeah,
it
like
was some
yeah, because when I gave her my poem, she said, "This is really nice, and this is really good," and, like and I think my poem has something to do with, like, about, like, insecurities and stuff, and so, like, she wanted us to have, like, little objects, so I brought in a mirror. She was like, "I really like this, like, did you put a mirror?" And I was like, "Oh, thank you," like, she was really sweet, and a lot
Mhm.
of people went over there and they liked it, so I thought that was nice.
Awesome. So it was like on display?
Yeah, like, it was a on
Oh,
display
wow.
thing, so
That's really
everybody could walk
cool.
around and read it like, everybody's poems, so it was really
Mhm.
cool.
Mhm. That's cool. And so like even in speaking about things on display, I know that sometimes I'm scrolling on social media and I might come across a 30-second clip or
Mhm,
I might see a powerful quote somewhere
mhm,
and it might just give me that little nudge that I need. And for instance, I have a circumstance where sometimes there's things that don't necessarily go as planned. And I was
mhm,
listening to this other podcast, this podcast, it's Mel Robbins, and I really enjoy listening to her podcast. And the person
mhm,
she had on there, actually a poet, Ocean Long. And
mhm,
I don't want to misquote him, but he was saying for the most part that you can't have the same multiple emotions going on at the same time. So that if you're in a negative space or you're feeling sad or upset about
mhm,
something, to try to think about something that gives you joy. Because if you're thinking about something that gives you joy, then the sad thoughts, the angry thoughts cannot reside there at the same time. And so that was a quote that actually gave me a nudge in a way where, and this was recently, to just stand
mhm.
up for myself in circumstances where I feel like maybe even as an adult,
Mhm,
maybe things aren't necessarily going the way that they should because some people are trying to take advantage or something like that. And just in hearing that quote, it gave me the nudge to not back down. And sometimes I revert to being how I was when I was younger, which can be a bit passive. And
mhm.
that quote really did it for me. So it was definitely a catalyst for
Yes.
me, and but then there's times where it could even be just someone giving me a pep talk
Yeah, those pep
for
talks be
doing
working.
yeah, before doing a race or
Mhm,
before getting on stage or something
mhm,
like that, and it's one of the reasons that when I do post my reels about my fitness videos, I usually will include a quote so that it's
mhm,
not just me working out, but it's my hope that someone may see the video, and every once in a while, and it's usually someone I don't even know, and they'll comment and say, "Wow, I really love this quote you used."
mhm.
And that it may touch them in a positive way. So I'm wondering, has a speaker or maybe a video or even a quote you came across given you some motivation towards something that you maybe wanted to accomplish? Or even if you were just maybe it was a weird type of day for you and then someone said something and it sparked something in you.
Trying to think here. I think I actually have some of my notes actually, because I do like to write down, like, stuff that, like, I like, when I see it, I'll be like, "Oh, I like that." Let me see if
Mm-hmm.
there's anything in here. Oh, I did like this one. It says, "If you cannot confront the realities of yourself, how can you connect to the experiences of others?" I like that one because on that day, I felt like I just wasn't, I just wasn't like, I don't know, I was just in a mood that day, and I was just like, "Oh, like, everybody's just annoying me," and then it was just like and then I saw this quote, and it was like I was like, like, this is right," 'cause it's the like, my one friend, she was just going through something, and I was just like, "Well, if I can't connect to her, like, I need to, I just need to feel, like, how she's feeling," so I just felt like sometimes, like, we have to, like, tell ourselves, like, "Why are we acting like this? Like, why am I being like this?" Like, sometimes you have to, like, really just talk to yourself and, like, just be like, "Why? Like, why am I feeling these emotions?" And then, because I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm my own therapist, and I just be like,
Mm.
Man, like, why am I being like this? Like, I'm being like, excuse my language, an a-hole. Like, I'm being weird. Like, I need to like fix this." So sometimes I have to like recalibrate myself. Like, I have to tell myself, like, no, like what you're doing is wrong. And it's like, 'cause some people can't admit when they're wrong. So I try to do it when I know like I am being a little wrong here. So sometimes I do have to like kind of tell myself, like, no, that was wrong and you need to fix it. And so I think that quote really did speak to me when I saw it. So yeah.
That's a good one, and I love the phrasing that you use, "Sometimes we have to recalibrate." I love that.
Mhm.
That's awesome, Kenzie. And it made me think about the inner tug, and for me, it's spirituality, and
Mhm.
I feel like it plays a significant role in the direction that I'm headed, and when I say spirituality, it doesn't necessarily have to be, like, for a person who subscribes to a specific religion, perhaps it is, but even still, I think the idea of just in knowing that I'm not perfect
Yeah.
and I'm just going to try my best to align myself with positivity and
Yes, I
to
love
do
about
that
that.
through my actions and the
Mhm.
people that I interact with. And so there's times when something's just tugging on my heartstrings and I'm trying to decide, should I do this? I'm not sure.
Yes.
What should I and so I might pray about it, and I like how you said, "Oh, let me see." I sometimes put down the quotes. So there might be a quote, and a lot of
Mhm.
times I'll post different ones in my office, and it might be just writing in my journal, and something else I post in my office is if a student sends me a message or if they give me a card or something and like, "I really enjoyed this semester," I will post it. So then if I'm having a day where maybe a student is not so happy with me, they
Yeah.
might say something where I'm like, "Oh, I'm horrible," and then I look at it and I'm like, "Well, I'm not that bad because
I guess that
somebody
can't be
wrote me."
that bad.
But it helps to guide
Yeah.
me because I think sometimes I can't speak for you, but I definitely want to ask you that I might get caught up in following just what my emotions are telling me and not so much in a logical way. And so I find that if I can balance it with my emotions,
Mhm.
logic, and spirituality, that definitely helps me when I might need some guidance and I'm in search for that direction. Like when I'm
Mhm.
at the crossroad and I'm trying to
Yeah.
determine which way should I go with this. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering when you're having that inner tug, when you have a decision to make, it could be something very basic where you might just say, "What do I want to eat today?" Or sometimes it's more complex than that. And you're like, "Oh, geez, this could really change the direction that I'm
Mhm.
headed depending on what I select." So
Yeah.
I know that's a really deep question, but I'm
Mhm.
wondering, has this ever presented itself to you?
Has many times, like, some it could be about basic things like you said,
Mhm.
but sometimes I think it's more like it's like I'm dividing myself, like, I'm like, "Hmm," like, my heart's telling me this, my mind's telling me this, what should I do? Like, sometimes even like with food, like, let's say, like, I'm not gonna say sometimes I don't have the best self-discipline, so I will and, like, if it's between a cheeseburger and a salad, I might have to pick the cheeseburger. I don't have the best self-discipline. So, it's like I do wanna get better at that though, but, like, recently I've been doing pretty good, like, I've been, eating, like, sandwiches and stuff, but,
Mhm.
just, like, when it comes to stuff like that, I try to think, like, about, like, "Universe, give me a sign." Like, give me I always that's the first thing I always do. I'm like, "Give me a sign." And then, like, I always tell people, like, "I'll get back to you tomorrow. Give me a sign, universe." And then sometimes I'll get a sign and they'll be like, "Oh, like, this is a better option." I'm like, "You're right. I knew you was listening." But and sometimes it's just me. I have to figure it out myself. And sometimes I have to choose the one that's better for me, like, personally. Like, if I know this one is better for me, I'm gonna have to choose it, and the other option is just not that good for me, and I'm aware of that, I'm going to have to choose the better option. Even if I don't like it, I still know that this is the option that I need to choose to get my life on the path that I want to be on. So, because, I think that everything is like a line for me. So I like to think of it as if, like, if I choose this path, then everything is still going to be in alignment and everything is still going to be good for me. So,
That's awesome that you're already thinking that way, and you're not even 20 yet. But that's awesome because I try to remind myself of that as well, where even if there might be a difficult situation that I'm
Mhm,
facing, or even difficult people sometimes, that
mhm,
everything happens for a reason, and as long as I stay the course
mhm.
and I'm not doing anything that is outlandish or that could be detrimental to myself or even to other people, then I feel like everything's gonna work out and I'm gonna be okay. So I like that you're already thinking that way. That's awesome. Sometimes I always think about that inner tug. It can reveal who we wanna be.
Yeah.
So even when you're looking for different signs, that I find what's interesting is sometimes we can find what we really want through different signs because then our mind locks into that. So even
Mhm,
something as simple when I was in the market to purchase a car and I was
mhm.
trying to decide, was I going to stay with the Nissan family? Because I've had a Nissan since I've been driving, but just getting
Mhm.
different ones. And then something was like, maybe I'll get a Honda. And boom, just like that. It seemed like I kept seeing Honda CRVs everywhere.
That's really how it is, like, once you start putting your mind on something else, it's like you start seeing it
hmm
everywhere, it's like, "Oh my god," like
Yes, and I feel like, that's the inner tug. That's the
Yeah.
universe saying, okay, we're going to align the stars.
Mhm.
This is what you want. We're going to put it out there for you. So, I mean, and so I think also, like I said, with the idea of revealing what we want to be, and I'm
Mhm.
not talking about that cliche question, what do you want to be when you grow up, but the who you want to be
Okay, yeah.
and how you want to be recognized in life. And so for
Mhm,
me, I wanna be a person that I needed when I was younger. I'm not sure how much you might know about when I was younger based on I'm not sure how much your mom shares, but I
mhm,
struggled a lot with self-esteem when I was younger, even into early adulthood, and a lot of
mhm,
times I would just feel depressed or even unworthy, and
mhm,
a lot of times it was masked by how I would just thrust myself into my studies. So I was always solid when it came to academics. And then one of my other outlets was rap. So even though I felt confident in that, outside of that, I was always really shy. But
mhm.
those were my outlets to get me through when I would have dark moments or feel
Yeah.
depressed or sad or just struggle with, oh, I don't even know if I want to be here and things of that nature. So
Mhm.
when I see someone struggling in that way, it tugs on my heartstrings, and I never want anyone to have to experience that. So I'll often ask, am I building people up or tearing them down? Am I encouraging people, especially when it really counts?
Yes.
Or because, I mean, we can't be a
Yeah, you
cheerleader
can't,
all the
yeah.
time,
All the
but when it
time.
really counts, where am
Yeah.
I chipping away at whatever motivation this person has left? I think about that a lot in my profession because this might be the last stop for someone or even the first stop, and if I don't
Mhm.
get it right, they might not come back. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, but I still think
Yeah.
about it that way, and it's one of the reasons I knew at a very young age that I wanted to be a teacher because
Mhm.
I enjoy seeing my students thrive and reach their goals. So I'm wondering for you, I know this is quite, I know you mentioned sociology. I'm not sure if you've taken a philosophy course yet, but
I took
so
one
this,
last semester.
okay.
I took
So
one
then
last semester.
this is a philosophical question.
Okay,
Who do
okay.
you want to be or need to be?
Who do I need to be or want to be? I think who do I, like, want to be? I just wanna be this person that's at peace. Like, I wanna be a person that's very, like, at peace and have a lot of abundance in my life and just I just really wanna be like that. Like, I've always noticed this, like, when I was younger, like, just kind of what you were saying when you were like, you wanted to be someone, like, for your childhood, like, how, like, your childhood was and you wanna be like that person. I kinda, like, recognize that in myself as well, like, I do, like, even for me, like, I mean, I wasn't the most secure, like, 7th grade, like, I was very insecure when I was younger. I mean, I just didn't show it as much because, like, it's easy to hide it. It's just not like it's very easy to hide stuff, like, it was really easy. You just act like you have confidence. That's kinda what I would do a lot in high school. I would just act like I had this confidence, like, if somebody, pressed me about something, I just have to act like I'm about it. Now, I'm not about it, though. But sometimes you have to act like you're about stuff so people like know, like, okay, well, at least I know she about it, but I'm really not. But sometimes you just have to, like, even me and my roommate were talking about this. Like she was telling me like how she was very insecure about her hair because her hair was very short at the time. And she said every single day in the mirror, she would talk to herself and be like, you know what? I got this. Who cares who looking at my hair? Like like see, and I was like, and I really understood that with her. And like even when you were talking about your different outlets, like I feel like my outlet was like writing. Like I used to just write everything down and like in my little journals that I had, or even just in my notes, I would just write it down and just that would be my outlet for everything. But I mean, I just really want to be this person that's at peace with myself and just have a whole lot of abundance in my life. And I really just want to be a person full of love. Like just I want people to just be like, well, at least I received this love from her and just this just overwhelming abundance from her. That's all I really want to be. Like that would be the
Wonderful.
best compliment for me. I would just like I would just be like, oh, thank you. Like so, yeah.
Now help me out because I know, of course, what the word abundance means, but it means
Hmm.
different things to different people. What does that
Hmm.
mean for you?
I just think for me, it just means more of like I just want like when people like be around me, I just want them to feel like, oh, she just radiates this such wonderful energy and she just has like such like a nice like energy, soothing, calming, like she's really just like very cool to talk to, like, I could talk to her about anything type of thing, like, that's how and I feel like that's kinda, like, weird because like, right now, I feel like I'm always very alone, like, I like to be alone. Like, I don't know, I'm just a person where I love to be alone, like, I like to read a book and be alone, like, I don't really like to be a whole lot of talking sometimes, and that's really just how I am. Sometimes I just be like, I'm just I can enjoy my like, I know I can enjoy by myself, but sometimes, I like to talk to people too, so
And I have news for you. We have that in common with the abundance, that's something that I hope for, and it makes me feel so good. Every once in a while, someone will say that to me, whether it's someone who I connected with at the gym or
Mhm.
someone at work or just even an atmosphere where a person has had an opportunity to get to interact with me on more than one occasion to be able to say, "Wow, you really light up the room," or "You have this positive energy about you." And of course, it's not a matter of saying I need to be on at all times,
Yeah.
but to be able to possess that because I think that sometimes some people, their encounters can be so negative, and
Yeah.
the people that they come in contact with can leave such a negative experience with them. And I'll never forget one time, one of my students, we were doing music is poetry. And so students were doing presentations on this. And the one student, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the group Black Eyed Peas,
Yes.
but they had this song, Where is the Love?
Mhm.
And the part of the song talks about it's a cruel world. And the student was talking about how cruel the world is and there's not a lot of good people in it. And I just got all
Oh.
teary eyed in class. I'm like, do you really feel that way? And they're like, well, you're nice, but most people are just horrible. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh. And so and I'm sure she's not the only one who feels this way. And maybe I have rose-colored lenses on, but I would like to think that there's more positive people than negative. It's just that sometimes the negative people have a way of
Yeah.
really just putting their
Yes, like
claws in, and so it makes me wanna be even more of a light for people
mhm.
so that
Well,
they can at least
yeah.
say that, "Well, at least I encountered one person who seems
Yeah,
okay."
like yeah, cause I think it's so easy to be negative, like, it's so easy to be like, "Oh, this is ugly, this is weird," like, this is it's so easy to be so negative, and I feel like it's so hard to be very positive. Cause sometimes people don't like to look at all the positivity in the world, like, "Yeah, this might be happening, But look, I mean, look around the world. I mean, we're still here, we're still breathing, we're still surviving, we're still
Mhm.
keeping on in life, and people don't really think about that. They always just think about the negative. So I try to think about the positive, but I won't lie, the negative does come in sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes,
I
I think
think
for all of us, and I think what's funny is we're talking about that tug, that nudge.
Mhm.
Sometimes, because the nudges might push you in a direction, but the tug is pulling you, and I think
Yes.
sometimes the tug of negativity can get a hold of you,
Mhm.
and someone has that negative energy, and they're trying to pull you in, like, "I want you
Yes.
to be negative just like
It's
me."
very yes. Oh, Lord. I had a friend in high school, and I feel like she was like that sometimes. Sometimes I remember I'll never get this one time. It was this one time we were at lunch, and this one girl, she needed she was thirsty. She needed a bottle of water. She was like, "Oh, how much is the water up there?" I said, "Oh, $1." She didn't have it. So at this time I was bringing extra water bottles because I would like have my water. So I'd be like, "Oh, I have an extra water bottle, whatever." So I gave it to her. I was like, "Oh, here you go. You can have this one. I'm not gonna use it anyway. Like my water's still pretty full." She was like, "Oh, thank you, thank you." And the girl next to me, I would never get this. She said, "I wouldn't have gave her nothing." I was like, uh, I mean, well, if you want to, I don't know, because you got to put yourself in these situations. Like sometimes
Mhm.
it's not even about being negative or positive. It's seeing yourself in somebody else. If I was in this position, wouldn't I want like somebody to give me a water bottle? So that's why sometimes it's more of me just being like, well, I see myself in her, and I know
Yeah.
I wouldn't want nobody to deny me. So I do the things that I would want other people to do to me. And sometimes will it hurt my feelings when people don't do it to me? Maybe, but that's the life I live. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I love that that's something that simple. It might seem simple to you,
Mhm,
but you never know. I'm not sure if they were a direct friend or not, or just someone you were at the lunchroom table with, but
mhm,
regardless, this person may have told someone else, I was so thirsty and Kenzie gave me some water. Man, that was really nice of her because she didn't have to. I mean, maybe they didn't say that at all, but there's a
mhm,
possibility that they did. And
mhm.
then they might have gotten a nudge from you doing that, and the next time they see someone in need, and it might be something that's small, it might be someone who's just like, "Oh, I don't have enough for the vending machine. Oh, man, I just need one more dime." And you're like, "Oh, here you go." And
Mhm.
so it could be something like that, But okay, so you're in I mentioned this before, you're not quite 20, you're in your last teen
Right.
year. And you have so many more years ahead of
Yes.
you, but I'm wondering, what are the things that you hope to do but haven't been doing because the nudge or tug just hasn't been strong enough yet?
Mm-mm. Um, Stuff that I haven't really been doing that I wanted to. I think I wanna, like, get more into, like I feel like I wanna get more into, like, yoga and stuff. I
Mm.
haven't The only reason I haven't is really because this dorm, and I was like, "Oh, what would my roommate think?" Like, I don't know, sometimes I be thinking in my head, like, "What would my roommate think?" Like, and it's not that she's not interested in it, I remember, like, we, like, talked about yoga before, and she was interested in it, but it was just like, what if she just woke up to me oh, never mind. I mean, I do wanna do yoga, but I also wanna do meditation. So,
Mhm.
like, I think that it's not a weird one, but it's, like, a weird thing to do. Like, imagine she's, like, middle of the night and I'm just, and it's just, like I was thinking of these scenarios in my head. I was like, "Oh, she might think, like, I'm strange or something." Oh, but sometimes exactly, but, like, sometimes we think other people may think these things, but if I were to talk to her about it, she'd probably be like, "I won't care." And I'd be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, like, yeah," but I do definitely wanna get into meditation, yoga, more stuff that just connects me to my inner self and stuff like that, because I'm very, like, interested in stuff like that, and I definitely wanna get more into doing stuff like that. I really wanna start spending more time outside. I mean, I haven't been able to do it recently because 'cause it's been so cold outside, but I really do like spending more time outside, and I wanna do more, like, self dates. Like, I feel like I was reading something one time, and it was like a lot of people can't spend time alone. They have to be with other people, and people can't spend time by themselves, and I really wanna, like, be able to be like, "Oh, well, I can spend this time with myself. I can be alone. I'm comfortable with myself that I can go and do these things by myself. Like, I don't need somebody with me all the time." 'Cause I'm just so infatuated with myself that I can do these things, so
Mhm. That's awesome. Now let me ask you, I wanna go back to a few of what you said. The
Mhm.
first one with yoga, do you all have, like, a facility or a gym or something where you
Yeah.
can go and, bring your mat and stuff? I mean,
We
like,
do have
because
this
I'm just thinking about because sometimes we might
Mhm,
look at certain things or people as barriers, but there
mhm,
is a workaround, like you were
mhm,
talking about the path will align. So even if you're like, if I wanna do it in the dorm room, that there may be an area where you can bring your little mat, or they might even have mats and you can go and do your yoga. Or
Mhm.
same thing for meditation as well. With
Yeah.
meditation, there's so many different types out there. I actually use a meditation app. And
Mhm.
so the one that sounds like you're talking about is like with transcendental, where you might have a mantra associated with it. And so I know about that one. I've practiced that one
Mhm.
as well. So I can also send you some things. But yeah, if you have your headphones in and things, I'm
'Cause I
sure
used
that
to do it
you're
more at home, like, I used to do it more at home
yeah.
'cause I'm in the room by myself, so nobody can see
Mhm.
me, but it was a little different here. I was like, "It's kinda different here. I can't really just
Yeah.
be," you know?
Well, you know what? I mean, I don't know your roommate, but but something I
No,
would
she
off
probably would be
yeah.
cool,
Yes,
but
you
I
never know.
just
She might want to join one day, or
Mhm.
she sees, wow, you seem even calmer than usual, and it's finals week or something, and you're like, well, I've been meditating, and then because I know something at my college that every once in a while they'll have these different group sessions for
Mhm.
meditation and for yoga, and especially at the end of the semester when
Yes,
people
I've
are
seen
looking for
yeah.
ways to decompress, they will
Mhm.
add to the schedule. So
Mhm.
you never know. I mean, I'm not trying to give you too hard of a nudge, but you might be the yoga meditation leader at your college. You have some skills with it, and then people are like, "Oh no, Kenzie, she's really good at that." And they're like, "Kenzie, when are you going to lead a session for us?" So yeah, so
No,
you never
I have
know.
one to, it was I think that, like, last semester I did, like, goat yoga, so I did go to that, and that was good. That was really cool. Like, they had the goat standing on your back. It was really cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
they had this one, but I don't wanna say I don't wanna do it. I know what could potentially it's like you were talking about earlier, how there's certain people you may not ask certain questions of because you
Mhm.
know what they're gonna say already,
Mhm.
but there is something called puppy yoga.
Mhm.
And they're these cute little puppies and they jump around. And the reason that I cannot do that is because I would want to take one home for Zach to have a playmate. And I'm like, it would be an impulse where I
Yeah.
want you to come with me. Zach's gonna love you. And so yes, but it does look so much fun. So I said, well, I know I'm not gonna bring a goat home, so I
Yeah, I
can
know
do
I'm
the
not gonna
goat
try and get a
yoga.
goat.
But even like the part about you saying something you wanna do more with just going on dates by yourself, I think
Mhm.
that's awesome that that's already on your mind at your age, because sometimes
Mhm.
people don't think about that until they get much older. It's,
Mhm.
"I need to have someone," whoever that
Yeah.
someone might be, and the someone that we need to have first, and I didn't learn this until I got older, is
Mhm.
us. We need
Yeah.
to have ourselves first.
Mhm.
And so I do go on occasional dates by myself. One of my favorite dates of choice is going to the movies by myself. I
Okay.
will say one of the drawbacks is that when I was younger, I probably would have just been quiet and not talk to anyone. But now it's not like I'll disturb anyone, but at the
Mhm.
same time, if something happens, like one time I saw a comedy and it
Mhm.
was a crowded theater. So the person next to me and we're laughing together and I turned to them. I'm like, wasn't that funny? And they said, yeah, it was. So, so that can be tough. Or I'm not sure if you saw the movie Sinners. I went
I
and
did
saw
see that one, yeah.
Sinners by myself.
Mhm.
And so I was seated next to this other woman, and there was a part, I mean, I don't wanna talk too much about it on the episode in case someone's like, "Hey, don't spoil it for me." But there was that part where it got a little scary,
Yeah.
and so I flinched, and the person next to me did not. And I was like, "Wow, you didn't even flinch, you're brave." And they laughed at but, I mean, even though I'm by myself, I
Yeah.
think even that person was by themselves, and so I think that it's important to have that, and every once in a while, I might go have a meal or something by myself, or something else that I will say I do is I don't always listen to music when I'm going on a walk because I feel
Mhm.
like music's wonderful, especially if I'm running and I want it to help me stay focused. But
Mhm.
sometimes it's nice to be with myself in nature. because
Mhm.
in being with myself and nature is sometimes if there are certain thoughts that are coming in my head and they're negative ones, or they're ones where I'm trying to make a decision and
Mhm.
I'm at the crossroad, not having that distraction, I find that it helps me a lot. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm definitely a music person. I love
Yeah.
music. So that won't be a little hard for me because I don't know, I just like listening to something or having something to listen to. But sometimes, like, I will be like, "Oh, I'm listening to too much music. I gotta take this off. Like, this is starting to get in my brain too much." I have to like sometimes I know I need to decompress and like get rid of it. Like, this gotta turn off.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough at first,
Mhm.
and so I still listen to music, of course, if I'm running, if I'm doing a certain activity or things like that, but it's gotten to the point where I started this probably about a half year ago now, where I will drive in silence if it's a
Mhm.
short distance. If I'm going to
Mhm.
work,
Oh
which
yeah.
is almost an hour drive, I'm listening to something, a podcast, music,
Yeah.
something. But if I'm going to the gym, which is a little under 10 minutes away, I will
Mhm.
purposely not listen to anything just to be with myself. So I
Mhm.
think sometimes people might not even look at it as it doesn't have to be a formal date or anything,
Yeah.
but just giving yourself that
Mhm.
time can certainly help if you do have something tugging on you and you're trying to
Yes,
make a decision.
definitely.
Because I think that we have so many distractions that
Yes,
it
and
can
this
be tough.
we have a lot of distractions now. So I do think like music like can definitely like because sometimes I will like I listen to music just to put the thoughts away, just so I'm like, okay, well, if I put this music on, then the thoughts are gonna be in here. But as soon as I turn it off, it's like the thoughts are back. So I'm just thinking and thinking and thinking. So I definitely will say like music can definitely be a distraction that I sometimes do use if I'm like, I don't want to think about this right now.
Well, I will say I don't want to leave music on a bad note. So
Oh, music
no,
is
no, no.
great.
I
Oh
was saying no. I was just saying that to be funny. A
wow.
bad note. My corny auntie joke.
Oh.
But I will say that with creating that right playlist, when I
Yes.
was training for the Spartan race and when I was training for the Broad Street Run, the 10-mile
Mhm.
race, there were times when I might have felt like stopping when I got close to finishing, and that
Mhm.
one song came on that just kept me going. So, oh yeah, definitely music certainly
Oh, that's definitely
has
me with
its
working
place.
out. Yes, because even yesterday when I was, like, doing I think I did the treadmill yesterday, and I usually do, like, the hill setting, and then I'll probably do it for, like, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, depends on what it is. And, like, sometimes I just need some music to play, like, I need to hear something. So, I think definitely when the right song comes on I think when the right song comes on, it definitely, like, just makes me work harder. Because sometimes, no, yesterday, especially yesterday I was gonna give up like a couple 2 times, but the right song came on, I said, "Oh, let me start walking again."
Good, good. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Well, I won't recruit you yet. I'll give you a light nudge that you can come work out with me when you when you
Oh,
want
yeah, well, I
to.
was gonna ask you when I would, like, come back, like, when I was gonna come back,
Yes,
like, for, like, break and
absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can even, join me and Quinn doing a class together. It could be a lot of
Mhm,
fun. Yeah. So, okay, so some, dogs, they don't just tug, but they yank. So
mhm.
here's one last question for fun. If you were a dog, what breed would you be and why?
I think I'd be a greyhound because greyhounds are very like observant and they're very sensitive. And I feel like that's me. I'm very observant and I can be sensitive at times. So I think definitely like, and I don't mean sensitive like in a negative way. Like, I mean, because some people, make sensitive feel like it's such a negative thing, which I don't think it is. I think if you're sensitive, that is great because you feel emotions very strongly. And I think that is amazing. And I feel like sometimes that's me. Like, when people tell me things, I always feel like I always sometimes I tell people like, please don't tell me that because I get the when I get when you tell me, I start really feeling it. And so like I feel like I'm very empath. Like I always feel people's emotions when they tell me things. So like I feel like I'm definitely very sensitive and I definitely am very observant. I always like look around and I just like take everything in. Like I'm always looking. Like I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Like I'm always just viewing and seeing.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, I love the greyhound too. It's I mean it's quite an athletic dog as well.
Mhm. Oh, well,
So
I don't mean on the athletic part. I was just talking about on the observant.
so yeah, so what breed do you think I would be and why?
Yes, I when I, like, think about it, I think you would be a golden retriever. I always see you as very warm and nice and kind. Like, I don't know, whenever I think about you, I always think, "Oh, she's so sweet and so kind." Like, she's a very nice person. So I think when I think of you, I think golden retriever, like, very warm, very kind. So, yeah.
Thank you. That's actually the dog that Quinn said as well. Yes, quite a few people said golden retriever. I'll accept it because I love the golden retriever and,
Yeah, they're
they're
very cute
quite
dogs.
friendly. So, yes, definitely. And so, I'm so glad that you agreed to be my guest, Kenzie. I mean,
Mhm,
just this conversation, I already knew it, but the
mhm.
conversation that we had, it's shown me how you have truly grown into a wonderful, well-rounded young lady. And I'm just so excited for all the directions that life has in store for you because I already see wonderful things in store for you, which is amazing. So yes,
Thank you
so
so much.
oh, absolutely. And to you, the listener, we occasionally need a little tug. So be sure to give yourself credit if you're still trying to find your direction in life. And I hope that I can nudge you to share this episode with friends and family. And while you're at it, please follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at Tricks My Dog Taught Me. Until next time, when I get into week 15's poem, Sit and Wait. Here's something to ponder inspired by my little guy, Zach the Toy Poodle. A mighty yank isn't always required. Often, a gentle nudge is all it takes to steer others in a direction you're strutting toward. Take care, and I'll see you next week.